Hello and welcome to another episode of the Breadwinner Podcast. I'm your host, Caroline, and as always, I'm here to talk about all things sourdough microbakery. Today's episode is just a little bit of a different one. It's a special one. I'm going to share a little bit of behind the scenes and a little bit of what to expect for the upcoming Breadwinner Summit. I mentioned this in the last episode when I reflected on March. But the Breadwinner Summit is the first ever virtual conference just for sourdough entrepreneurs. It's happening April 14th and 15th. It's going to be fully online, and we get to learn from some of the best teachers in the sourdough business world, and I am so excited. If you've already grabbed your free tickets, you are in for a treat. But if you haven't, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to expect, how you can get your ticket, and kind of help you decide. I'm going to share in this episode a little bit about how the Breadwinner Summit came to be, what we're going to learn, and how you can get your ticket. So in this episode, I'm going to take you into the heart of the summit, how it came together, why it mattered, and what you can expect to walk away with. I'm going to start by unpacking why I created it and how it all came into being. So this has been coming together since November. Back in November, I stayed at a hotel for my birthday, just a solo hotel stay. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. In the morning, I went down to the coffee shop and I sat there for a couple hours and I opened up ChatGPT and I said, I want to reflect on the past year and look forward at the first quarter of 2025. Can you ask me some questions to help me reflect and look ahead? And so it did, and it really helped me process 2024 and start to dream about 2025. One of the questions that it asked me was, what is a bold move that you can make in the first quarter of 2025? And I said, I don't really know. Can you give me some ideas? And one of the ideas that it mentioned was to host an online summit. And that's the one that clicked, and that is the one that I ran with. It just felt like a really natural extension of the podcast in a way to connect the community, to bring together a whole lot of really practical, tangible, life-changing insights and lessons and speakers in a way that is all packaged in one really neat container. So as we all know, it's been historically pretty hard to find information about building a bakery. I spent hours and hours scouring Facebook threads trying to find what I could find, and there's not a whole lot out there. And of course, with the podcast, my heart has been to distill some of the information, to bring it all into one spot. And I get to be the connector. I don't have to have all the answers, but I get to bring the voices together. It's so cool. And so the podcast does that. But then the next step here is the new annual Breadwinner Summit. So this is an online event where sourdough bakers, whether you are just getting started or whether you have been in business for quite a while, can come together for strategy, for connection and community, to get more clear on the impact and the significance of your own business in the broader scope of your community, and just really get clear on why it all matters. This is specific to sourdough entrepreneurs, so it's not generic business advice. It's advice that is going to speak exactly to the struggles that you face and be really practical for you. So a little bit of what it has taken to bring this to life. I've worked in a lot of strange offices, not strange, but I worked from hotel room. I've worked curled up in the passenger seat of my husband's truck as we drove to and from Dallas last week. I will tell you, those 5 hours each way, I was so focused. I got so much done. I wonder if I need some more road trip work sessions in my life, because I cranked through a lot of good stuff, wrote so many emails. I worked at coffee shops. I've worked right here in my bakery for so many hours, so much research, so many emails, so many Instagram messages, reaching out to people who I have admired for so long in the sourdough space. Some of them said, yes, I get the vision. I want to be a part of it. And there were pinch me moments, still feels so surreal. There were plenty of non-responses or gracious no's, but it's just been a lot of contacting, which doesn't come natural to me. So I will say I have grown a lot through this process too. And it's been really stretching and exciting and scary, really cool. So I cannot wait for this event to actually happen. And then equally exciting is to think about the potential of the second annual Breadwinner Summit. and how that will just continue to grow and change lives and build businesses. So inside the Breadwinner Summit, I thought about how can I make this really well-rounded, really practical. And so I looked at the 6 pillars that I have identified for a successful, sustainable, profitable business. So there's your sales, your marketing, your processes, your products, your lifestyle, and your cash flow. And then I thought about who are some speakers who can teach on all of these topics. And so we have at least 2 speakers on every topic. So we're talking about pricing for profit. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about social media, understanding your content pillars. We're talking about how we're deepening our knowledge of sourdough, the science and the art. We're talking about building a really strong business. Even talking about things like bartering and connecting in your own community with other bakers. That's just scratching the surface. These conversations are just so incredible. And if you love the podcast, if you love the practical, tangible approach that I take and the way that there are always clear takeaways from the episode, you are going to love the summit because it is that on steroids. The podcast conversations that we have with guests are usually so excellent, but also there's some background and there's some chit chat, which I love, but the summit sessions just get right into the meat of it. So it's 20 to 30 minutes of just practical, tangible takeaways on a topic. And it is going to be so valuable. So we're hearing from fellow bakers, people who have gotten really good at a specific thing, and we're going to be learning from them. They are bakers like you. Some of them have large platforms. Some of them don't. Some of them are the gurus that we've all learned from. Our keynote speakers are James Bridges, Tom Cucuzza, and Sarah Grunwald, which my mind is still blown that they said yes and are part of this. And what an honor to bring conversations with them to you. There's so much to learn. So much. I cannot wait. This is a free event. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. This event is free. It is free to be part of the event, to listen to all of these conversations, be part of the community. We'll even have some fun activity in there with some giveaways. Amazing. So there's a link down in the show notes where you can get your free ticket. There's also an option to upgrade your ticket to pay for the all access pass, which gives you lifetime access to all of the recording. So if you don't want to stress about blocking off those 2 days, it's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time on April 14th and 15th. I don't think I mentioned that yet. But if you don't want to stress about having to block those days out and sit there with a notebook and scribble down every single thing, you can upgrade your ticket to the all access pass and get lifetime access to the recording, both in video format and in private podcast format. So you can listen or you can watch. You can do both over and over. You can digest the information at your own speed and as it becomes relevant. Inside the All Access Pass is also a lot of bonuses from speakers, from myself. I'll be including my recipe calculator, my new, that I haven't released yet, but my new profit margin and pricing calculator that I've been working on. Sunrise Flour Mill is giving a free 2-pound bag of flour to everyone with the All Access Pass. There will be other speaker bonuses. It is going to be so valuable. So I am just stacking the All Access Pass with so much goodness. So when you grab your free ticket, you'll see on the next screen, there's the option to upgrade your ticket to the All Access Pass. And on that very first screen, you'll be offered a one-time really deep discount to get it at just half price. So it'll be $39. Way worth that investment. If you are on the fence, I would encourage you to just invest in your business in this way. It's going to be so valuable. If you decide not to upgrade, that's totally fine. You can upgrade later. Once you get in the summit and see how awesome it is, you may decide that you do want the recording. You'll still be able to upgrade. You won't have the same discount. It'll go to its regular price, but don't sweat it if you decide to just go with the free ticket at first. More than anything, I really hope this summit helps you feel connected to the community, connected to your community, and helps you see the role and importance and significance of your own business, no matter how small it is, within your community and in the bigger picture of the way that we are turning the tide toward bringing more locally produced food to our communities. You are so important, and the role that you play as a local food producer is so important. And so that is really the really big heart behind this whole event. I am so excited to see you feel more connected to other bakers, more connected to your vision and your values, and just aligned in the business that you're creating, more confident, equipped, and strategic in the work that you're doing. Because at the end of the day, you're not just baking bread. You are holding faith for connection, for healing, for joy, for nourishment. And the summit is here to support you in doing all of that work sustainably and confidently. And make sure that you really keep the love for what you do in it and don't lose sight of that and burn it. So to sum it all up, if you haven't grabbed your free ticket, there's a link down in the show notes. You can grab that. You can upgrade to the All Access Pass if you want to, and it will be so worth it. The next couple of episodes are also going to be about the summit. I'm going to be sharing sneak peek snippets of some of the sessions that we're going to be hearing from some of the speakers. I'm going to be sharing how to get the most out of the summit, how to really optimize your experience. And then finally, the last one is going to be the actual summit kickoff call. And I'm really excited to share that and just cast the vision and inspire you all as bakers and the roles that you play in your community. As always, if you haven't followed the show yet, make sure you do that so you don't miss an episode. Like I said, these next few will be about the summit, and then we will roll right back into interviews and tactical shows, the practical, tactical solo shows that I love to do too. Nothing is changing over here on the podcast side, except I may scale back slightly to one episode a week here in the future. But the value that we hear in the show is going to continue and just continue to get better to serve you on such a deep level. All right. I will be back soon with another episode. But until then, happy baking.